Yes, sir. It is what it is. You know what it is. It's Tito himself, and you already know it's lit as fuck when I'm here again. It's the morning, babe. What's going on, bana? I'm easy. I'm alright. Just woke up and I'm like, it's work, work. Yeah, just got this new fit yesterday. I was feeling it. I mean, it's blue. You can see it's blue. Blue is fire. Blue is lit as fuck, and it's as simple as work, work. I'm about to make a small adjustment on it as I work on these other things. You know what I'm saying, yeah? No, sana. Anyway, how's it been, man? I've been good. I've been alright. I mean, trying to work on a few things. Hapa hivi. The other day I was before the weekend, I was scrolling on socials, kidogo. Then I jumped on YouTube a little bit. So I found myself in Andrew Kibe's live, and jokingly, I opened the link where he picks calls from guys who are joining in live. So I joined in, and then my call went through. I don't know why I panicked before I started talking to this guy. I mean, it's cool. You know, I've seen him critique people, and I've seen him throw shades, Nini guys. So you know how he is. So I was panicking. I didn't know if I would say or wouldn't say the right thing. That was my first concern. And then the conversation just started flowing. It was not bad. It was pretty good. You know what I mean? It was pretty good. Kwa sababu, I was just saying whatever came to my mind. I was not trying to rush through. Uh, Made a little bit fun of me. You know, I've joined these spaces a couple of times. And I joined these spaces until I felt like I need to start my own space. So it was amazing. It was a good conversation. I mean, I got some small corrections from him. You know what it is. Like, yeah, I was really trying to be as professional as I could, or maybe have a straight conversation as good as possible. But alimpata alimpata akanipiga nyonyo moja, aka akanicheka. Yeah, as it gave me a small insights on what I should do. Told him about my spaces. It was impressive. It was a good conversation. And from the whole conversation, there's this one statement he said that I think I really learned a lot from it. He called it the Kenyan speak. The Kenyan speak is, you know how Kenyans we operate, eh? We operate quite well, but it gets to this point where when we need to give explanations, we start by giving an excuse before we give an answer. So he asked me, how many times do you do your spaces every day? And I told him, job inanilemea, but I try and do it 3 or 4 times. Then he says the Kenyan speak. So what he meant by Kenyan speak is when you are asked a question and it's just a direct answer. Like he asked me, how many times do you do your spaces? And I started by saying, job inanilemea, but I try and do it 1 or 2 times. So it should have been a straight answer. I just give an answer like, I do it 3 times a week, given a chance. So the Kenyan speak in me had to explain myself for not doing spaces sometimes because of reasons that are not even valid. Actually, most of the times when I don't do spaces and I'm here, it's because usingizi imekuja. It's because maybe nimechelewa job. It's because just mostly nakwaga usingizi. Hakuna excuse ingine. Kwa sababu, what is the point of not waking up and then sijafanya space? Doesn't really add up. You know what I mean? That is now the Kenyan speak. So I'm really learning how to from that day nimekuwa najiambia kwa kichwa yangu every time I'm telling myself Kenyan speak, Kenyan speak, Kenyan speak. So I'm trying to get rid of this Kenyan speak that is quote unquote our way of operating. Tunaji explain na Kenyan speak doesn't really make sense, you know. Doesn't really make sense in the eyes of those who expect great explanations from us. I mean, you're supposed to give a straight answer, unakuwa shifty. That is the Kenyan speak. So I'm just trying to fix this thing over here because I feel like it'll give me some trouble. Yeah, we're good to go. Hey, usiharibu maneno tena. Karibu ni ngoe the whole setup, bwana. The whole setup. Do you know how? Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Yeah, we're good. We are good. So I was talking about the Kenyan speak. Give an excuse even before you give an answer. That is the Kenyan speak. That is the way we are used to. Tumezoea, we need to explain ourselves before giving answers. And I felt like when you change that tactic of the Kenyan speak, your speech becomes more impressive. Your answers become more straightforward. You look like an intellect when ukitoa hiyo Kenyan speak hiyo and you remove that self-explanation before you give an answer, and then you just give a straight answer. I mean, you seem like a very straightforward guy. Yeah, I thought about it in multiple conversations that I've ever had before. I was like, if I would only change that one statement, my conversations would make more sense than anything. So that is all about my exciting experience with that guy. Such an amazing encouraged me and told me I got something good going on. I should keep pushing and promote it so well it would blossom. Yes, sir. It is what it is. You already know it's Tito himself, and I'm here. Let's get it. This is the Uninterrupted Podcast, and I'm here. I'm live on Twitter Space, and this is also recorded. A premium version of this will be posted on my YouTube and Instagram pages. Let's go. Before I begin, let me tell you about my weekend. My weekend was a bit shifty, yeah? If you know what I mean by shifty. It was one of those one of the unusual ones. When you expect it to turn out so good, but it doesn't even turn out as good as you expect. Yeah? It's one of the unusual ones because nimejipata at a point where if you put up expectations on certain things, they turn out very fucking different. Yani, just have obnoxious expectations. Yani unasema, by this time, this and this will happen, or maybe this will turn out like ABCD. That thing flips and looks at you back in your face and tells you, no, it's not. You see, that is what happened this weekend because I had really big expectations. I just wanted to have a lot of fun this weekend. Really wanted to have a lot of fun over the weekend. And I didn't seem to get that kind of fun that I wanted out of this whole thing. Because it is the end month. It usually has this hype vitu more, hype. But it wasn't as amazing, as pleasant as I expected it. It wasn't as thrilling as I thought it would be. Because I think guys are chickening out because of the economy thing. Kuna venye watu wanasema economy is bad. Things are going to change for a minute. Prices of fuel zilipanda. So I think that thing humbled people over the weekend because I know people got paid over the weekend. And I expected mad crowd to come out. I expected big crowds. Definitely I went out partying. And I was expecting, but let me fucking tell you one thing, bro. Every time I go out, I see about 30 or maybe 50 new hot chicks in Tao. And I'm like, where the fuck do these bitches come from? Because ukitembea town, you never see these pretty faces. Sato na Sunday jana, I saw a lot of pretty women. Hey, hadi nikiwa job, and there's this chile ni Muslim, and she's fire, bro. I was wondering, where do these people come from at times? We don't even, I can't explain, but it's fun. Over the weekend I saw them, but it was not as fun as I want. I mean, you know what I mean, but so anyway, I went out, uh, chilled with them boys, chilled with a couple of guys over there, nini nini. But me, siku hizi nachoka mapema, so I find myself going back home. Sherehe bambi sana. They brought us a DJ, not so bad, but not one of those big shot DJs where utasema, I wanna fuck with this guy for the whole night. It wasn't like that for this weekend. It was not as fun as expected, but it was alright. You know what it is. Away from the weekend, sherehe, nini nini, things are quite well. And I've seen a couple of things that have been going on. I felt like I need to give my own reaction of what I think about what's going on. To begin with, this dude, Stivo Simple Boy, I think he came into the limelight without knowing what to expect. He's one of those, he's one of those ghetto boys. Mtu ghetto, obvious. So he's one of those who came into the limelight not knowing what to expect, but he was hoping to become a celeb. So his hopes out of the darkness came out and he became a celeb. That was his biggest hope, I know. That's what he really wanted. Wanted to be a celeb, of which he became, but he didn't know what to expect out of becoming a celeb. So he goes and gets one of these bootleg bitches, goes and gets one of these managers who has swindled him. He's been swindled a couple of times, but I know the first guy who swindled him was this guy who calls himself Handsome Boy. This ugly ass motherfucker calls himself a Handsome Boy. He's the first guy who swindled Stivo Simple Boy because he thought juu yeye ndiye amemleta kwa game, he can manipulate his choices. Stivo goes and gets this chick, Pretty Vichy. Vichy was nobody before she dated Stivo Simple Boy. Then she became somebody after she broke up with Stivo Simple Boy because she happened to get this random to interviews, which it's all credit to her. I mean, she knew what to do. She knew the right thing to do. She could explain herself. She could speak. I didn't know she had this confidence. This chick is confident as fuck. She can speak. She can explain herself. She can tell stories. She can chase cloud. To become a celebrity, you need to learn how to do all this stuff. And she knew how to do all this stuff. And she did it quite well without any hesitation. As much as she has gotten backlash, she has been trolled. Trolling, one thing in Kenya that you'll never escape is trolling, especially online. Online, you will be trolled whether you like it or not. Whether you want to be trolled or not, you will be trolled. Look at big victims like Naziad. Pretty Vichy is another victim. Vichy came up. And now she's somebody. So, away from all these chicks and back to Stivo. Stivo has had a rough one. I mean, his career picked up. He came with these two songs, Zikashika. It was just a trend. Corporates zikamushikashika kidogo nini, akafanya tu advert ya betting site, sijui kwa nini wakamrusha nje kidogo. The guy made steps, and then he gets to this point where recently we hear a story that this guy's ujamana analala njaa, he's broke, he's anything. Then he goes out and rants about the manager. We don't know what the manager did because his claims are that the manager swindled him. Akamtoka. It all happens. This guy came into the limelight without good advice, without knowing what to expect, without anything in mind, knowing that this and this is possibly going to happen because alianza kushika do kidogo. Unajua ukishika ganji kidogo hivi kuna venye vitu ubadilika drastically. So for him, that is how things turned out. And I wouldn't want to blame him for anything that he did. I think he just didn't know what would happen. He didn't know what to expect. Yeah? Hata mi sahi, I would want to be one of those big shots. You get what I mean? And not a lie, I don't know what to expect out of it. I know, like nimelan kidogo. One of those big shots. I mean, you get what I mean? So this MP came out the other day and said he'll build stivo how nini. Obina came out, wanted to link stivo with a promo job. Tumbili came, I don't know what they were doing, nini. But stivo is just in between not knowing what to do. I don't know how he is personally handling the whole thing, you know. So it's such a difficult task being a celeb, nini. So he just needs to put his shit in check. That is the point where he will start doing. I feel like he'll start doing better, and he just needs to choose someone who's good at managing him, someone who's good at dealing with his business, someone who's good at doing some of these things that will propel his career forward. Those are just some of the few things that Stivo needs to accept and learn that give me a content series. Hata mimi nimeona give me a content series. Like right now doing a space, I'm on my own. It's not easy. You need to have a lot in store for you to handle whatever will be thrown your way. So recently maceleb ndo amekuwa na mambo mob. Speaking of which, again, we have Crazy Kenar's group. Crazy Kenar's group seems to be falling apart, but they all just agreed that we want to go down that route. Yeah, but we know eventually that it will come to light. Eventually, one of those chicks, when Kenar Likoga now, will come out and say something diabolical that will prove that they disagreed. It's always all about money. It's always all about endorsements. What other reasons would guys split? What other reason would make such a successful online create? Hey! What other reason would make such a group, an online group, where hiyo kitu imelost? Matamshi. Ngoja ni kunywe kopo la maji. What other thing would make these guys break up? There was such an amazing group in here. They would do amazing content, and it was back to back. Those guys did a skit almost daily. By far, they surpassed these other people. Kenar was banging this online thing, but this guy managed. I think he shoots from his house. Has a pretty nice house. He drives a TX. I mean, he has endorsements. I don't know if he's still doing endorsements, but he's doing them. I mean, I'm finally advertiser to dental. So this group, I'm sure they disagreed because it all started from Idioti. Idioti moved out of the group. Idioti was part of this thing. I think this guy's made in nakwambia leo na ngoa. Oe! Sijui usingizi ama nini. Leo na ngoa. This guy's met in Campo. And then they moved into this online game. Hao ndo walikuwa ma pioneers. They started around the same time with kina Wololo, kina Mayoyo, also juzi ni kina Obienje na kina Austin. So I was saying to come a pioneer. And it took them quite a long time. I mean, but they couldn't last longer than Sauti Sol. Sauti Sol is the only group that has made it in in a long time. Wakatucheza juzi wakasema wana split, but they were not splitting, it was just them doing their thing. As in Kenya ikosagi, I think, which was also a tactic for them to have an amazing show, because they were going for their tour in the US, they're in Europe. Right now they're in Europe. I've been watching some of their shows in Europe. They said they were breaking up so that they could have massive crowds in all their shows. I think that was the tactic. Another thing is, mi naona hapa kwa kina Kenar, it's all about tunes. These guys could not just learn how to. Okay, let me put it like this. When it comes to things to do with money, I feel like your point ya kukosana lazima, because there's always this one person who seems to be making more. There's always this other person who feels like they're never making enough, they're never making progress. You know what I mean? Your point ya push and pull na do, it never misses. That point is there. I mean, nimejipata hapo one or two times with funny enough friends or even colleagues nini tukayo. Story ya do ikosagi, yani kukosana. Guys could do something, get something, a little something. Your point ya do ni normal. And then there's this, speaking of money, there's this online guy who goes live on TikTok and he does a lot of stuff. It's called Branchier. Branchier came out. First time I saw his video, this guy was saying he's HIV positive, which I think is true. That was the first video. And I had a lot of pity for this guy. Kauruma kalimshika. Kasema, oi. I think he was super depressed. Super depressed at the time when he was revealing that he was sick. And most people didn't take him serious. That is why he fell back even more. Like, I think he doesn't have such good friends. It's just Jiggy anaishi Nairobi, anaishi Nakuru. Because sometimes I just see his videos, he's interviewed from Nakuru. Sometimes he's interviewed with this Nairobian bloggers. You know how these guys are. That is just how it goes. As in, so the other day he was talking about how much money he makes online. Bro, I was wondering, I looked at myself, I was like, kwani si tunaundaga content kwa wapi? Kwani si tunakuaga online gani? This guy comes out and says that he makes approximately on a bad day, he'd make 100 G's off TikTok live. Man, it's mad. 100 G's on a TikTok live. And he says on a good day, he'd make something like even 200 G's. You know what I mean? 200 G's is a lot of money. You can pay 200 G's. It's not a lot, but at the same time, it's a lot. If you give me 200 G's right now, it would do wonders. If I made 200 G's from sitting here and talking, just speaking. Yeah. 200 G's is a lot of money, bro. I don't know, but 200 G's is quite a lot of money for me. Just if this guy makes that kind of money, then I'm telling you guys, stop working 9-to-5 jobs. If the secret would just go out there, guys know how to do their content such that they would make such kind of money on a single live stream. Basi mi sa ingekuwa millionaire mzee. I don't know. Everyone puts it out there the way they want to put it out there. But CG, we're also trying to find out nini endelea. Yeah. All these guys, let them be. Let them do their thing. And one last thing that I wanted to talk about was the cancel culture. I feel like we're getting back to this era of cancel culture in Kenya. especially on musicians, especially on these small things that are going on. One reason is this guy called Ezekiel Mutua is back in the scene. So Ezekiel Mutua is this guy who used to cancel a lot of music. He would do a lot of stuff. I mean, he'd be a bitch for no good reason. So the other day he comes out and condemns the song Yasaru na Furthermore, of which I didn't find any particular reason why he should have done that. I mean, there's a lot more to criticize if he would want to criticize that. There's quite a lot he should criticize if he would choose to criticize. If he would just pick on that song and say he want, doesn't really make constructive sense. And I feel like the cancel culture is coming back. That's why guys are moving out of the scene. They're corporate sana. And then they want all of us to be comedians so that it makes sense. I mean, it's cancel culture. So what do? I mean, we move, it moves. Even the vehicle, we just have to accept the cancel culture going on and everything. Yeah. But anyway, I was not here for a long time. I was just here for a good time. It's been a good 26 minutes of wabudi. Anyway, it's been real, it's been good. It's on a Monday. It's very polite. We don't want to spike the Monday. We don't want to jinx the week. We don't want to. But I'm looking forward to more amazing spaces. Looking forward to more amazing content online. Looking forward to more better days, better ways of creating content. You know what I mean? And that's how it goes. And it's Tito himself checking out. It is what it is. Y'all already know. There was none before me. There will be none after me. That makes me the one and only Tito himself. Let's get it, baby.